Hello and welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips, where I'm pleased to say that joining me on set is MTD's very own dynamic duo. Hey. So we promised to discuss the very best features that are currently available online, including Colin's trip to Wales, where you will witness an abundance of CNC machines. In fact, 85 CNC machines all on the same site. Gio and his friend Bob will be talking us through the minefield that is EDM and a really informative video. If you're new to this technology or even interested in the benefits of its applications, definitely one to watch. Plus we have a cycle time challenge and so much more. So welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. So a dynamic duo. Who's Batman? Who's Robin?
I've got to be Batman.
Yeah, you're Batman. He's larger than me.
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
Hey.
You're more like Del Boy.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
I'll take
that's
that. I'll take
fair.
that.
So any updates this week?
Tim Toff was a fantastic show. Paul and Colin went over and they're promoting MTD Global. So another channel, and that's brilliant. New informative channel, but also the network. There's lots of good things happening with the network. So please get online and check everything out.
Colin tells me in Taiwan he couldn't get Paul out of the restaurants.
There's a lot of noodles gone missing from.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you were
they've
gonna
sold
say
out
then.
of noodles the whole of Taiwan.
You two are dreadful. Your food jokes are relentless, but I kind of like it. Anyway, enough about that. Let's head over to Wales, where Colin has a feast of technology at Renishaw PLC.
Guys, got to take advantage of this. We're at Renishaw PLC, the Miskin site. They've got a number of sites across the UK. I'm going to have to speed walk and speed talk because I've only got about 2 minutes. I've got loads of figures and statistics to throw at you. Over 4,000 staff, over 3,000 in the UK. Renishaw PLC are exporting globally. We had to take advantage of it. So the site is 193 acres, 85 machines just here. So let's get cracking on. The latest machine is the acquisition just being commissioned. It's a Bray machine, previously known as Sahos. Don't know what they're making on it, it's top secret, so moving on quickly. Now, next one is a Mazaks 430 and 530 milling machines. Now, they are 3+1, so 4 axis. This is for your low volume work, but key to it all is limited operator intervention, consistent production, and great finishes, because these products are going on end products. So this is your low volume stuff, so products that aren't having massive sales yet but will grow. Now, next one, moving on swiftly. Go on, Chris, come on. We're testing out his fitness here. I'm knackered already, mate, I tell you. So here, we've got the Haas VF9. Now, why have they got the VF9s? That is because of the envelope. Big envelope there, but especially in the Y. Now, that is 1 metre in the Y. Now, for a machine at that size, they couldn't get any others of that scale. So that's why they've got the Haas VF9s. So, next stop. Now, as I said, low batch production over there on the Mazak 430 and 530s. Now, it's about automation. So remember this is a Ramtic system, automated system at Renishaw. So what you can see here, come on, Chris, come on, keep up, is they're loading in here components and tooling. So great shot there. Now remember this, we'll come back to it in a moment. So next, now I'm going backwards here, so if I fall over, I'm sure Chris will tell me if I'm walking into anything. This is their suite of Citizen machines. That is acquisition 3B12, so tiny footprint, but 3 metre bar feed, so they're producing, now let me get this right, they've got 18 Citizen machines here, ranging from ones made in 1985, the F12 and F16s. Latest acquisitions here, the B12s, up to A32s, M32s, 2.5 million products produced by these machines alone on this site, 58 Citizens across the group. So huge suite of Citizen machines providing consistency, great product surface, concentricity as well. Right, moving on swiftly.
So the full video is a lot longer than that, and it is on the MTD CNC website, but we've cut it down a little bit for Swarf just to make sure that we can get all the other videos in there too. So Gio, what do you think?
Miskin is an absolutely phenomenal facility. It's huge. I visited probably about 4 years ago, and it was probably quarter full. It's a lot.
Really?
It's a lot. It's got a lot more machines in now than it did have then, and the
It's
growth,
impressive, isn't it?
The growth of Renishaw is phenomenal. I did hear some facts and figures. I don't know how correct they are, but apparently 5% of Renishaw sales are in the UK, and the rest is around the world.
That's incredible.
Oh, really?
Colin took his last girlfriend to Wales.
To Bangor.
No, Cardiff.
Oh God, what are you
going. Keep going.
Right, what a facility. I must say, we've got people in the studio here who are laughing their heads off at jokes. Right, wonderful. Right, what a facility.
Joking aside, what a facility. It's full of sliding head lathes, full of Mazak machine tools. People say, you hear some people say in the pub, don't they, we don't make anything here in the UK. That's a world leading manufacturing facility if ever I've seen one. Is it 80 something? I've lost my numbers.
85 machines.
85 machines on site, 193 acres, 4,000 staff, the vast majority here in the UK. It's and people talk about automation. We can't compete with emerging markets, but there's no human beings there. It's all automation.
It is, isn't it?
So that tells you everything you need to know.
And they're also using a lot of other manufacturers and working alongside with other manufacturers
exactly.
too.
The Rantek system there, I'm fairly sure they developed that themselves. So that's not a third-party product. That's something they've developed for quite some years ago. And as you say, you can't see anybody unless it's a Saturday.
I mean, I can't. Joe said it all. Really, I think that Renishaw practice what they preach. Their products are so good because they use them themselves within all of their, like for example, the Rantek system. I can imagine that going, and being sold as a product in the future.
They actually make their own cutting tools as well. They've got their own CNC grinders to make their own cutting tools.
Big company. Like I say, full video, all online as well on the MTD CNC website. So please feel free, throughout this video to comment, have a look online as well, and make sure you like and even share the video so we can spread the word of UK engineering, and contact us if you want to be on the show as well. Even better. And if you've got any questions, send them in to us. Right, so guys, who's up for a little bit of education?
I love a bit of education. Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day. Well, Gio, why don't you head over to Bob, who's in the Midlands, and talk some EDM?
MTD CNC have travelled to Coventry, to the home of high-tech aerospace, for this week's educational feature. And I'm here with Bob. Thanks, Bob. And I want to tap into your many years of experience in EDM manufacturing. Now, firstly, what does EDM stand for?
It's a way of machining electronically.
Now, there are two different types of EDM manufacturing, wire and electrode. Can you explain the difference between the two?
Well, you've got wire eroding, which uses a wire, which is 0.25, 0.3 diameter. The sync electrodes are for three-dimensional work, and the fast hole drilling, which is a brass tube, is for putting holes in quickly.
Now, for people that are unaware of this type of technology, can you give me some kind of examples of the work that you do here in Coventry?
We do a lot of gear cutting for companies who would have to wait months for a cutter. We can turn the job around in 24 hours. We do a lot of fast hole drilling work for aerospace components, for wire locking holes. We do a lot of sink erosion work on aerospace blades for an overseas customer, and so on and so forth.
So why are people, some of the components that you've mentioned there, could be made on CNC machines, for example. So why are you making them on an EDM machine?
Basically the accuracy, down to 5 microns, particularly on wire, and you can get into a very sharp corner, if you like, or with a very small radius where that isn't possible on a machining centre.
So why are more people not embracing this type of technology, in your opinion? I mean, you've been involved with it a long time, but when I go out on the field, I don't see many of them about yet.
A lot of people don't understand the EDM. It's got this black magic box image, and which isn't the case anymore with all CNC. It should be embraced a lot more than it is.
So is it easy to use?
A lot more so now than it used to be, yes.
And would you recommend it to people that are manufacturing standard parts, like you mentioned, like gears, for people to investigate this type of technology, and could it potentially make them more efficient?
You certainly can. You're not producing a lot of swarf. All you're doing is cutting a shape out, just like a glorified bandsaw, in effect, is a wire machine.
Bob, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gio, what parts that you saw got made in that factory that you were surprised by, amazed by being EDM?
Well, I think that the really complex parts that kind of had 3D features in them that you just couldn't manufacture in any other way out of really exotic hard materials. The majority of them were predominantly for the aerospace industry, but there were certain parts for Formula One, the medical industry.
Oh, wow.
And one thing that really did surprise me is the the versatility of EDM manufacturing. So there were certain parts that could have been machined on a milling machine, but it worked out more efficiently and more productive to do them on an EDM machine. So, for example, pre-opping a part, a really hard to cut material, exotic materials, instead of machining them on a milling machine, it was easier to do on an EDM.
One question on EDM, and I obviously know about EDM, but I'm far from an expert. If you've got a tool steel and you've got heat-resistant alloy, does the electrode burn more on the heat-resistant alloy? Because it's obviously on the milling machine, it'd be far more difficult to machine. But does the EDM, does it matter?
I'm not an expert. I mean, Bob was the
godfather.
godfather.
Ask the question to everyone if you're watching.
Bob will know.
Yeah, I mean,
40 plus years.
He's the godfather of EDM manufacturing. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it'll make any difference whatsoever because it's basically the material just needs to be conductive.
Yes, it does.
So as long as the material is conductive, I mean, these machines cook PCD. Which is like a diamond. So if it can go through diamond, I don't think it makes any real difference.
Yeah.
For sure. One thing he did say about aerospace fasteners, if you look at the bolt head, they have like an angled hole that goes through them, really small diameter, and quite often it's Inconel and nasty materials. What a great idea.
For the fast hole drilling, absolutely. Sometimes when them holes, like he mentioned the holes, for the locking holes in the aerospace industry as well, for the bolts, where they're on like a two-way compound angle. You know, we had to put them in when I was in the aerospace industry on machines. So to be able to do it,
2mm drill, expensive.
It was a nightmare.
It is interesting. And you know what? We've done podcasts on the EDM machines as well. Yeah. So please make sure, you can get in, have a look on the website. You can listen to the podcast. And please get in touch, because if you've got questions, we're the people here to answer them. So if we've grilled you enough now, Gio, so let's move on to the next video. And at MTD, we love a good cycle time challenge, don't we? So if you're watching at home, please make sure you have your best guess ready to see if you can beat the guys in the studio.
This week's cycle time challenge is from Kim Kerr Precision in Birmingham. Now, Ian, you at NCMT have actually sold this fantastic Akuma lathe, but in your hand you've got quite an intricate part. Now, can you describe the actual process and the material that you've got in your hand?
Yeah, this part is a D2 tool steel. Basically, op 1 we've turned down the outside and faced off, and then in op 2 we've turned it over, done all the external stuff. We then screw cut and spline down the inside.
How many ops?
2 ops.
And is it quite hard material?
It's D2 tool steel, so relatively hard, yes.
So how long do you think it's taken to make this part on this fantastic Akuma Genos lathe?
Right then, Robin, you'll go.
Well, Akuma are obviously associated with a high price bracket, but obviously that's not the case. And in the past, they've obviously been associated with a lot of project work, but recently I've been seeing more and more standalone Akumas out in the field, and I think that it's a testament to NCT how they've been selling their product, and obviously, changing the perception that they are affordable, but it's not really about affordability, it's about return of investment. If a product costs a certain price and it gets you a return of investment, it's irrelevant.
So, Gio, what's the cycle time challenge?
Yourself time here, Gio?
Come on, well, how long do you think?
Sorry. I'll buy one. Yeah, just give us the time.
Yeah.
I'd say 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I'm going to go, it's a bit like those games, if I go 90 minutes, I think I'll win.
Doesn't matter.
But no, I'm going to go for...
Come on, Batman.
6 minutes.
6 minutes, 20 minutes, that's a little bit different. Well, tune in next week to see who's the closest, and why not take part by entering your guess in any of our social media feeds, and we'll be announcing the winner next week, so you can win a Swarf and Chips goodie bag. Now, Joe got all technical on us earlier, and he met Horn.
I'm joined in Technical Corner by Dave List of Horn. And Dave, you're going to quickly talk us about these 3 products. Let's start with the product you're probably best known for, the Super Mini.
Yes, Joe. Super Mini system, as you know, we've got a massive range of boring inserts, grooving inserts, screw cutting inserts, face grooving inserts that go one tool holder. The problem you've got, access to the screw on these more complicated sliding head machines. You can now access the screw from the front, and it basically makes life easier changing inserts.
Good idea, quite straightforward, but quite often you have to lean over, or maybe sometimes even remove a tool to be able to adjust it. So straightforward, but a massive leap forward. Well done. The aluminium face mill.
Yeah, aluminium face mill, PCD inserts. It's a aluminium cutter body, so it's lightweight, low power consumption for all high-speed machining.
Your non-ferrous, I guess, aluminium, brasses.
Yeah.
How about composites?
Composites, yeah, carbon fibres.
But the thing that sticks out on me is the insert. The fact one of these has actually got a chip breaker in it, which, again, that's fairly unique to Horn.
Yes, definitely, yeah. PCD inserts with a chip breaker, so you reduce your swarf volume, which is gauge your productivity, basically.
And these are products you wouldn't necessarily know Horn for. Most people watching this will know you for a grooving company, but as we look at your catalogues here, you're far more than a grooving company now. And this is probably my favourite item on the table. Just demonstrate
this. Yes,
definitely,
Joe. We've got an adjustable width slot mill, disc mill, whatever you want to call it, adjustable between 9.6 to 18.8 millimetres over the two cutters.
It's great, and you've physically done that with your hand. You don't even need the Allen key.
It's simple, and then when you want to lock it off, you just put your screw in and tighten that down, and you're away to go.
And obviously we've got a tool presetter in the background. That's an ideal environment. Worst case, you take a pass, measure it, and then adjust it after.
Exactly, yeah.
So again, a product you will know Horn for, and two products you may not. But either way, get in touch with Horn, and they'll give you some more information. And thank you for watching. Back to you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
So most people know Horn for grooving, but there's so much more to them.
Absolutely. Initially, grooving and broaching and things like that, but they offer pretty much a full suite of tools now. You know, we talked about the Super Mini this morning. We've talked about the tangential milling system. Some of the aluminium face mills they've got a full complement now.
I think, yeah, they were well renowned for their grooving tools, etc. But now they offer a complete solution in the tooling market, and it's a top quality product. I mean, what really impressed me, Joe, was the adjustable slotting tool. The design of that was fantastic, wasn't it?
Quality design. So he just literally did it with his fingers. Use it a preset or just make a cut and measure after.
Yeah.
You know.
More to come from Horn.
Lots more to come from
Lots
Horn.
and lots more. Right, okay, so in today's final video, Colin caught up with G.W. Martin to see a machine that is even older than he is.
This week, Blast of the Past, I'm doing a little series about old machines, and we found some crackers at G.W. Martin down in Hampshire. Now stand back, I'm not going to stick my fingers in there because I fancy my digits. Health and safety, you will be having a meltdown, but get over it. This is a George Kingsbury from Staines. Now, as you know, they were George Kingsbury, they were Geo Kingsbury, they're now Kingsbury, and they're in Portsmouth, and I'm reliably informed. So that's showing how old it is. Now look at that in there though. That's chugging away, absolutely holding tolerances all day long, paid for itself. This was built in around 1960, but look at all that in there. Now, I'm not going to get technical because I don't really know, but the engineers absolutely love it. I'm reliably informed they might even want this for the museum. So it's that old, but look at this for a bar feed. LNS, FMB, Hydrofeed, IMCA. This is a proper bar feed. Now 3 metres, but what do you do to make it a bit longer? Bit of tubing on the end there. That is brilliant. How's that for a blast fast? Now, come on, Chris, keep up, keep up. So G.W. Martin are investing, improving, becoming more efficient. So they're having a bit of a clear out. So what have we found here? First of all, look at that. How's that? 1967, so even older than me. Yes, I know, older than me. Fire extinguisher. BSI standards, 1990. All right. And I always have trouble getting hold of Richard Blake at G.W. Martin because that's his old phone there. Now that, 1983. Anyway, more about the engineering parts. Look what I found over here. It is a Hitachi Seiki high-tech RN machine, fixed head lathe, obviously. Now, I'm going to have to refer to my notes on this one just to make sure we get it right. This is a successor to one of the most popular machine tools ever, which was the 4NE. Massive successful, fixed head, in there, 12-station turret, no driven tooling, and in the back here, this is one of the leading and first conversational controls. It's a Fanuc FAPT. Now it's so old, Chris thought we were booking a holiday because he thought that was Teleset, but it's not. It's the controlling system, so the FAPT. That'll hold 250mm diameter. Great machine, still going strong. Even older, actually I'm reliably informed, this was around or sold when Steve Finn and Richard Blake from G.W. Martin, obviously Steve Finn from DMG Mori, were applications engineers. So that's how old this machine is. That's it guys, blast from the past.
Grey, antiquated, slow, not well built.
And that's just Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the machines were not like Colin, by the way. I mean, it's a really important point to make that they are really investing in all of the latest technology. We went there to review a Star 38, and they've invested in some of the latest automation solutions. So yeah, it weren't all antiquated.
I know we're having a laugh, but that machine is still going. It proves how well built it is.
They love the
it's
machine.
solid.
They absolutely love the machine, and it was nice to see it still banging away.
Yeah.
I actually agree with Lindsay. Antiquated, it needed lubrication, end of its working life, it needs throwing away. And that's Colin.
And that's Colin.
Hold on. I've heard all of that. That is exceptionally rude. Quite funny, but exceptionally rude. That was older than me, though, just to clarify. 1967. So, great machine shop, that machine, brilliant. They've been really, really successful, in fact. I want to just drop this in there. Blast from the past, I've posted on LinkedIn a couple of things about old machines. So we've got Hi-Tech, they had a Wickman EDM, 2,000 views. GW Martin, that machine there, at the moment, they had 5,000 views. We did a Herbert lathe, BSA lathe, PGM rebuild, shut it, I told you. 18,000 views so far, so we've done some videos on them.
And there's nothing wrong with old things.
It shows how things evolve.
Yeah, evolve.
In fact, they still hold their tolerances and it's keep going strong. Right, anyway, enough of that. Get off my set because we're doing a podcast. So you and you, have had enough of your rudeness today. Get lost.
Okay, you're going to do the podcast. Just so you know, if you haven't watched, listened to any of the podcasts, when you're in the gym, you're driving along, they're really, really good to listen to. So make sure we'll put the video at the end of how you too can listen to all of our podcasts. So,
piece of cake, isn't it?
Yeah, piece of cake. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to watch any previous episodes, click on the links on the screen. And as we always say, keep those spindles turning. Right, come on then, let's go.
You're aging gracefully, Carl. Oh, bugger off. A lot of you, just get off my set. Go away.